Tyler
knows
everything.
All right, everybody, we're here with Lauren. Is it Bebeau? How do I say it?
Bebeau.
Just like Beaumont.
Just like Beaumont.
The first half of Beaumont.
Right?
Yeah. So you've got like 4 or maybe 5 different titles.
Yes, I do.
So let's kind of talk, kind of give us a preview of all of them, then we'll kind of break it down a little bit.
So their favorite question to ask me is, what is my job? What do you do? So I'm born and raised in Beaumont. I'm a hometown girl. I'm very family oriented, and that's a big reason why I've never left. I always wanted to be here for my family. From kindergarten through 8th grade, I went to St. Anne's, and then for high school, I went to Westbrook, and then for college, I went to Lamar. So I've got to know so many people, in the community, and everyone has a story to tell, and I always like telling stories. And so that's kind of, how Southeast Texas Foodies came about. Just late one night, I was just thinking how big cities have food bloggers or people dedicated to showcasing their local food scene. I was like, I want to be that person. What do I need to do to be that person? So, created an Instagram, free to do. Every time I would go out to eat, I would take a picture. I would let people know where I was and, how they could get there and what I was ordering. And I never wanted to be a critic. I thrive on positivity. So, being negative, tearing people down, that's not me.
Yeah, it's more like showcasing
exactly
what we have.
So,
and was anybody doing that before you think? Or
So, Beth Rankin, if I could name one person, she was the editor of Cat 5 when I was in my college days. Pretty much, when social media got started.
Yeah. So what was your class of Westbrook? What year?
06.
Oh, okay.
Yes, telling my age. Yes.
So, I was just trying to, maybe for a social media standpoint, I was trying to see what was going on back then. So 2006 was, MySpace was a little bit more prevalent, ish. It was kind of going out.
Yep.
Facebook was coming in. Instagram was getting more traction. And I guess people were taking pictures of their food just personally, like, hey, this is where I'm at, check this out. But they didn't really know, they weren't taking it to the level you were. They didn't get the angles, the setup, and it wasn't for marketing. It was just it was kind of the age of social media where people were telling everybody where they are at all times.
Right. And, I like to think sometimes I go to cool events, I do cool things, and I wanted to share that, with the internet. And so I just started doing that, and I kept up with it. Every time I went out, I would take a picture, and just being consistent, I think, is really important. And people start to follow you, and they're like, oh, where is she going next? So
Yeah.
I like to do that. I like to surprise people. And when there's a new restaurant, I have to be there. I have to be there in the first few days, because that is how people start to share your stuff online, because no one yet knows what the food looks like or what the menu is. So I've got to be there first.
Yeah, and they're waiting on you to give them a preview, I guess.
Right, exactly.
But speaking of local places, tell us what you brought right here. So
so I went to Cotton Creek Winery, and they had this chilled for me before, I even got there. They're awesome. I'm really good friends with Tracy Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
All private label wines you can find, and ciders even. Her husband is big on the ciders. They sell flatbread pizzas. That's one of the go-to spots for a date night. They do salsa night on Fridays, Wednesday.
Yeah, they have a lot of themes. They've got bingo.
Yeah.
Where they give away prizes.
Right.
Yeah, really cool. That's the green apple.
Yeah,
so that's
I like the sweet stuff. I'm not a drink connoisseur by any means, so this will do it for me.
And then it looks like you did your homework. You got me the bullet bourbon, one of the favorites.
I did. I'm not afraid to ask questions about people I encounter. So.
Oh, yeah. Much appreciated. So I'll give you a cheers.
Cheers.
Do you toast with a wine glass? I don't know.
Why not? YOLO.
Yeah, that bullet bourbon, very smooth. So where'd you just come from?
I just came from the grill right down the street.
Yeah. So we're over here. We're upstairs above the West Bar and Grill, right across the street from the grill by our Fiend Smith and Payne.
Yes.
Popular spot for happy hour, date nights, and patio entertainment.
Yes, exactly. They are one of my PR clients. In addition to Southeast Texas Foodies, I started my own PR company because I would meet all these local business owners and a lot of them didn't know what to do with the Facebook page or an Instagram, and they didn't care to know.
Right.
So they outsourced it to me. And so the girl I've been working with them for over a year, I love what they're doing over there. And they just hired Chef Scott Fisher,
Mm-hmm.
who's known in the area, and he's revitalizing the menu. It's all good things. All good things.
Yeah, a lot. I'm surprised how many businesses nowadays almost don't have a website, but they do have Facebook, and it's becoming like their landing page.
Yes, they better have a Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's free. There's no excuse, honestly.
And I guess the owners, or at least someone like you in PR, needs to be on Facebook because there's so many people that give the reviews or maybe a bad review, and you can squash it real quick and say like, did this person even talk to the manager at all, or did they just go on Facebook and complain just because they felt like, you see a lot of, I see a lot of that in Lumberton, if you've noticed, because they're just very, very opinionated in some of the groups. But
Oh.
I think all the towns have that, from what I've heard.
Oh, yes. I see it. I try not to participate in
Mm-hmm.
it, but I see the conversations that go on. They don't need another person chiming in.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Whenever you take pictures of the food, do you kind of stage the food in a certain way, or is there a trick to getting a really good picture? Because sometimes it's hard to capture a picture of food. I've talked to Frankie from Madison's, and he tries to instruct his staff on how to do it so that they can send him a post, because he's got so many different locations now that he can't be in all the places at one time, and he's pretty talented at taking the pictures, and so he's trying to help his staff on how to plate the food properly and then how to get that good picture.
I love to hear that he has awareness of
Mm-hmm.
his food photography. I work with what I've got.
Mm-hmm.
So, the lighting is pretty important. If it's dim, it's not going to come out right.
Yeah.
Don't like to use the flash.
I know for you, it's
Work
all,
the angles.
it's for sure it's all real, because I see it all the time. Like in advertising with the fast food, of course, they're completely staged.
Right.
Sometimes it's not even real food. It's, and they're flaming the bun to give it that look, and everything's kind of piled up in the front. And of course, it never comes out like that, in the box.
Right, like the fast food chains. Once I saw, I think, a BuzzFeed article that did a behind the scenes of how they shoot those commercials.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And it's crazy what some of the items they used were. No, I take photographs of real food.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be deceiving.
Right.
I'm very honest and transparent.
Mm-hmm. And so, do you find it hard to go out, and do you enjoy a night of, you're kind of working when you go out to eat, but you also have your me time and your downtime, and how do you kind of balance that out?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult sometimes. Like, I'll go out to eat, and if I don't take a picture, they can be offended. Like, why didn't she do this? But
Yeah, I guess you've made a name for yourself, so they know you're here. The restaurant
Right.
sees you, and
right, and I don't really like that. I pay just like you pay
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
most part, unless it's a client and they give me, free food to photograph.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, I'm paying for it. I want to support these businesses, just as much as the next person.
right. And are you still doing some work with Favor?
Oh, yes. So Favor is actually my full-time job.
Okay.
They kind of recruited me when I wasn't looking for one, but they are owned by HEB, and
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to turn HEB down.
Sure.
And how that came to be was just relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It all goes back to personal relationships, and I want to have good ones with people in this area because, you never know when you can call upon something, or someone for something.
And I guess Favor's unique because, like with Waiter, you had a set list of certain restaurants.
Right.
But with Favor, it's like anything.
Right. Anything delivered is their motto.
Mm-hmm.
They're running errands for you, delivering groceries. I wholeheartedly believe that delivery is the future. That
I think
is
so, too.
The way things are going. I eat out less. You asked me, is it less fun going out to eat? Well, honestly, I'm staying at home and ordering in more often, or I'll go to friends' houses and we all order in just as well. I just think that's how things are going, and Favor doesn't cost anything for these restaurants to sign on, so that's really an easy sell.
Yeah, because a couple weeks ago, a lot of people got mad with Waiter. What was going on?
So, full disclaimer, I actually worked for Waiter back when they first came to this area over 3 years ago. I was only with them for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
There are stark differences, as with any company, and working for a tech company and a startup, it's crazy. I never thought I would be in that world, And they kind of found me through the Foodies thing. Everyone finds me through Foodies. It all
Yeah.
circles back to that.
So you probably worked for Waiter before Tillman Fertitta
Oh yes,
bought it.
oh yes, way before, way before.
And I heard a lot of positive things then, and I was really excited when I heard that Tillman bought it, because everything Tillman is involved with is
Right.
really great. I love all of his restaurants,
Right.
Golden Nugget, but it seemed like right when he took over Waiter, things just, I guess at that point it's public. He's got
Right.
shareholders, and
Ye-
things changed. It seemed
Right.
like.
When you have to answer to your shareholders, things become difficult, and it's no longer for the people you originally planned it
Yeah,
to
because
be.
HEB is still privately owned, I believe.
Yes, HEB
Yeah.
is privately owned, and they never bought another company
Mm-hmm.
in 100 years until they bought Favor, and
And I think Favor's only in Texas, right?
only in Texas. Yes.
The cool thing about HEB is I grew up in like Deep East, Texas, and my first job when I was 16 was grocery with Brookshire's, not Brookshire Brothers, but Brookshire Grocery Company.
Yeah.
And if you notice, you don't really see, I don't think, and I may have, this was 100% true in the 90s, and I think it's still true today, that you don't see an HEB and a Brookshire's in the same city. They have like a gentleman's agreement, just kind of like a handshake, that they're not going to compete with each other in the same city, which is like complete opposite of like CVS and Walgreens. They try to go
Right.
corner to corner.
Right. Competition's tough. Everyone's got something to sell.
So what's the most odd thing you've seen delivered on Favor?
They told me when I got hired that someone had ordered 300 bales of hay
Wow.
the previous year. Yeah, and that's up in North Texas. I guess where they need hay.
And I wonder
occasionally.
who fulfilled it,
Somebody did.
Wow,
They have
yeah.
it. They have it on record.
But
Somebody
yeah,
did.
you could,
Mhm.
if you wanted to, you could order lumber from a hardware store.
Someone
Or-
ordered crickets from the pet store. I guess to feed their pets.
From Favor.
So,
Yeah, well, I know, like you said, that's where the future's headed. Ever since curbside grocery came about, I try to never go in the store. I love doing curbside, and they have delivery too. I never really do that, just because it's a little bit harder to pinpoint the window of time, because you're busy,
Right.
I'm busy. I pretty much know when I'm headed home,
Right.
so I can go do the curbside, but I don't really know once I get home I may leave or have things to do, so I haven't really done the delivery yet. But I've definitely used it for food.
Oh yeah, convenience is everything these days. That's what it all circles back to. Apps are made to save you time
Mhm.
for the most part, and time is money. And I want to help these restaurants sell more food that they already bought. So,
Yeah. And Favor seems a little more friendly to the restaurants as far as like the fees and everything, and with the consumer as well.
Oh yes, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
And I discuss that in every meeting. They're willing to give me a meeting. I
Mhm.
can tell them how it works, and it's very flexible. If they don't like it, we can call it quits and still be friends the next
Yeah.
day.
So are you tasked with signing restaurants up, or
Yes.
okay?
Yes, so that is my job. I sign restaurants up from Port Arthur to Pasadena. So
Oh wow, big territory.
yeah, last week I was in League City basically the whole week. And they don't have food bloggers out there. You think they would, but everyone is in, the city of Houston, the main part, not the outer loops. So I want to include them in Southeast Texas Foodies as well. So don't be surprised if you start seeing them.
Yeah, there's a lot of food culture in Lake Charles, and then when you get over to Houston area, you've got Midtown that's real popular for like brunch location and happy hour, young professionals.
Oh yeah, I love a Houston trip to eat food for sure.
Yeah. All right, so let's play a game.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I've got a stack of paper over there.
Okay.
I got a stack of paper. We're gonna go through some of the best. You'll write down your
Okay.
answer. I'll write down my answer.
Okay.
And then we'll show the camera
Okay.
at the same time. Okay.
Sounds good. So write it big on this one piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So first one, I'm gonna go with my shirt. Tacos.
Tacos.
Your favorite.
This is,
Your favorite taco spot. I bet we're gonna pick the same place.
yeah, this is easy.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Tacos La
Oh,
Bamba.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
All right, did you see the meme a couple days ago that said the average date night in
I
America?
did.
And
I
I think
loved it.
Texas was about $100. So,
Mhm.
if you think dinner for two, You know, say you get fajitas, margaritas, it's gonna be about $100.
Oh, yeah.
Dinner plus drinks, you get a steak night.
Yeah.
And then the meme said, obviously they've never taken their date to Tacos La Bamba.
Yep.
What do they have on Tuesdays?
Actually, so we're reworking the specials because
Okay.
summer just ended. He did a really good special, like these summer trays for $20. Taco specials is probably gonna be like 3 tacos and a drink for $6.
That's crazy.
Be looking on social media. It'll be coming soon.
Yeah, I mean they're all around $1 or so.
Well, this is first Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, this is gonna air in
Yeah,
September,
so one of their specials is first Thursday, right?
Yes.
And is that where all the tacos are
$1.
Yeah, which is insane
Yes.
because the quality of tacos that you're getting there
Mm-hmm.
versus the price point of Taco Bell. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been open for over 20 years.
Mhm.
Like, he is a community staple. And I've never seen anyone help out his community like he does. Carlos will drop anything to help someone out. And that's the people I want to get to know and work with and support.
Oh yeah, I was in there one day for lunch with a huge table. I mean, there's probably like 12 of us,
Mm-hmm.
and you know we're all, you know, late Gen X millennials. We don't carry a lot of cash, so we're all using cards. Well, the machine was down, and it wasn't their fault. It was like the network.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess AT&T or Spectrum or whatever
Yeah.
was down, and they said, y'all are good. Go ahead, you know, eat your stuff. And you know, there's so many places, especially like a chain place. I mean,
Yeah.
they would not let you do anything if their machine went down.
No,
And they're just like,
no.
y'all enjoy your food. Maybe it'll come back up. Maybe it won't. Whatever.
Yeah.
And eventually it did. And we found some people that had cash and we divvied it up, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
so, all right, next one. Let's go burgers.
Burgers.
Give me your
Okay.
best burger. I'm probably gonna cheat
These
and
are
put
my
2.
answers for this week. Like, you know, it changes all the time. I've spent a lot of time with this guy lately, and his burgers are legit.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
I got Daddy-O's and Willy Burger.
Okay.
You got
okay.
Willy
Meet
Burger
you
too.
halfway.
Yeah. So I like Daddy-O's because they're real creative with the keto options. My
Yes.
friend Jason
Jason.
over
yes.
there, you know, he's got the bunless burgers and the Brussels
Mm-hmm.
sprouts, and that's one place you can go and they don't look at you crazy when you order it.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many times you have to explain to a person what or where you get it wrapped in lettuce, you know.
Yeah, or they
And it's
don't
really,
laugh at you.
he has a huge leaf of romaine that it's
Mhm.
wrapped up in, and it's meant to be keto. Whereas other places you go and it's just kind of like haphazardly
Right,
keto.
right.
Yeah, this
They
one's
didn't even
like
try.
yeah, meant to be.
Mhm.
And then Willy Burger, when you're just wanting to, you know,
Yeah.
go all in and
Yes.
get crazy with the burger. You know,
Yes.
there's so many creative things.
Oh yeah.
The fried egg, the avocado, all the and well, it's just a cool place to be.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
sit in an Airstream
Mhm.
RV.
Mhm.
There's pool balls that are cut in half
Yep.
surrounding one wall. There's like a penny wall. What
Oh,
else? There's there's all kinds of crazy
So
stuff in there.
I went to the Katy location last week.
Oh, I didn't even know they had multiple locations.
Yeah, so there's a Crown Pizza and a Katy, and a Willy Burger, both in
Mhm.
Katy on the same block, just like here. They're on the same lot. And we did a photo shoot for a favor out there, and he put 4 patties on one burger.
Ooh,
Talk about
yeah.
a food photo. Like, check his Facebook page for this photo. And then he cut it up and made me take a bite. And I was way too much. Way too much. I'm about done with burgers. For a
All right,
while.
we're going with outdoor eats.
Okay,
Let's
outdoor
hit up
eats.
those patios.
This is a trick question.
It's hard to.
Hold on. Trick questions. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go with Tio Juanita's.
Well, I haven't been to a Tijuana's the outdoor.
All right, let me tell you about Tio Juanita's.
Okay, you stumped me.
So
okay.
they've got the Beaumont location, the Lumberton
Yes.
location, and Mid County. And
Yes.
Mid County is huge.
Oh,
Well, and
yes.
then there's also Winnie, Jasper.
Oh, yeah, Winnie.
They're taking over.
Mhm.
They're every town in Southeast Texas. There's a Tio Juanita's.
I love it.
But they got live music.
Okay.
You know, crawfish during crawfish
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Huge margaritas with the big straw, not the small straw.
Those margaritas are
The
they'll get
big straw. Little Woodrow is also good.
And the food trucks. I'm
yeah.
into helping the food trucks right now, and
Okay.
I love the setup at Woodrow. So
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I went on a weekend night. So,
Mhm.
you know, saw lots of friends.
Mhm.
A lot of younger crowd was there.
They fill up
And
that parking lot like I've never seen.
yeah, it was packed.
It's crazy.
Let's go with the best happy hour
Okay.
in Southeast Texas. All right, I'm gonna support my boy Frankie at Madison's.
I've got to give it
But
to my homies at the grill.
I also like the grill because the grill did have what I would consider the best happy hour in Beaumont. 50, half off everything.
Yes.
And they've got some top shelf, liquors that
Mhm.
you can save a ton of money. The appetizers. And then recently, Frankie kind of has a new happy hour.
Yeah.
Where it was basically every drink for $3.
Oh, nice.
So again, no matter what level,
Right.
yeah, whether it's a craft beer
Yeah.
or Bullet bourbon,
Mhm.
it's $3,
Nice.
and so that's hard to beat too. But definitely spent a lot of happy hours at the grill, getting food before an event or something like that, and then also at Madison's. Gotta love Madison's, been around for a long time now.
Right.
Let's go with steak dinner. I'm gonna break the rules on this one. You do your thing.
I think I know what you're gonna do.
I took a
You
little
spelled that
drive
wrong.
down Interstate 10, going east to Vic and Anthony's.
Oh, nice.
I did cheat a little bit, but it's hard to turn down a Vic and Anthony's steak.
So I'm gonna go outside the box and say, buy one at Jack's Packet, cook it at
And
home.
then do it yourself. Yeah.
Then you can only blame yourself. 'Cause
Cook it on the big green egg, the Traeger.
That's a great
Yeah.
piece of meat that they
Yeah.
have over there.
Yeah, Jack's
Can't go
Packet
wrong.
has. They've got a lot of stuff that you wouldn't think of. They've even got meals that are ready,
Yeah.
and you just kind of like HEB.
Yep.
Where
Wham,
it's
bam,
it's
casserole.
a steak and vegetables or chicken and vegetables, and you just grab it, stick it in the oven, and
Yeah.
dinner's ready to go.
Can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
They do a hot lunch too during the week.
Let's see who your favorite chef is.
Okay.
I only really know one, so I think we're gonna have.
No, you know more
Well,
than one.
yeah, I do know a couple.
Like went to culinary school, trained
Oh,
chef.
yeah. You go. I like her. I forgot about.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So I did Scott Fisher
Got great.
and Monica Cobb.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both great chefs. We're lucky to have them in Beaumont. And what they have in common is they both love to work with like farm fresh ingredients. And
Yeah.
Monica, I was there last week, and she had a slow food Beaumont dinner
Mm-hmm.
where she brought out Rachel Wilson, who is a female farmer, and it's stories like that I can't get
Yeah.
away from.
Rachel was just recently on the A to Z podcast talking
Yes,
about
yes.
the grass-fed beef.
Yep, I
Yeah.
love it.
And then Scott is just ahead of his time.
Mhm.
I always say that he belongs in like Austin or something like that because his vision is almost like Southeast Texas isn't ready for it.
Right.
But I think he's in a good venue with the grill because that crowd is going to be receptive to it.
Yes.
It's sometimes it was hard. He kind of likes the fast casual style when he's had his own places, and a lot of people in Southeast Texas, they don't understand fast casual.
Right,
They
right.
want a hostess to sit them down, give them chips and salsa and bread,
Yes.
a waiter, and so they're just totally not prepared. They're used to like Floyd's or
Right,
someplace like
right.
a sit down place.
There's more than one way to go to eat.
All right, so you went out Saturday night. Now you're looking for
paper.
brunch.
Okay.
Where you going for brunch?
Ooh.
So I picked a place on Calder because Calder has bike lanes and I can ride my bike to it. I picked Luke's.
Nice. I'm gonna pick Sugar's.
I've never been to Sugar's for
Oh my-
anything.
Oh my gosh.
Brunch, dinner, nothing.
Go-
But I always hear about it. I hear, obviously I hear good things. I just never make it over there.
You gotta do it. They've got jazz music playing. They have the mimosas.
I'm also a bad creature of habit too.
Gotta get out of that.
Yeah, and I probably need to throw a close second to Jay Wilson's.
Oh yeah, Jay
Yeah.
Wilson's.
Yeah, they're a really popular spot for I don't think I put lunch on here, but if it's lunchtime, you can probably if anybody needs to find me, they
Yeah.
can catch me at Jay Wilson's probably having lunch.
It was crowded today. I tell
Yeah.
you
All right, where are you going for barbecue?
that. This is a trick question too.
Yeah, this is tough. Yeah, in Southeast Texas, you can go to a gas station and find good barbecue. There's good barbecue everywhere.
One sec. I have two answers. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Boomtown.
Oh, Boomtown. I order
Boom,
them on Favor a lot.
yeah, Boomtown's come through for me for like corporate lunches when I need to impress some clients, and I'll do the the sandwiches and the
Nice.
chopped beef and all that.
Nice.
Who are you
So,
going with for barbecue?
Okay. If you can go to it during the week, Rogers Barbecue Barn. He is on Old Sour Lake Road. It's probably about 10 minutes. You drive past Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
He's a red barn. Delicious. Makes delicious pies. You can order them for holidays. Don't miss it. And
Yeah.
then, if you can catch it, there's a guy named Tony on Instagram. Tony Tone 409.
Oh wow.
He does pop-ups at Tacos La Bamba often.
Mm-hmm.
He has the best barbecue. He smokes it at his house.
Wow.
I shouldn't be promoting that, but it's fantastic. And I'm trying to find him a spot in town because people need to try this barbecue.
Yeah. So
we're working on it.
So is Southeast Texas pretty friendly to food trucks, or is it kind of more of a lot of hoops to jump through? Because a lot of cities have food trucks.
It's a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
But I think if you get a loyal customer, they're gonna frequent you pretty often. I'm all about supporting the food trucks. I've gotten to know one that I actually tried in Houston, and then when Woodrow's opened, he was here in Beaumont. So
Yeah.
I reached out, and with luck, come to find it, he bought a second truck, and he wants to keep it here in Beaumont.
Okay.
And then he also wants to open a restaurant here. So Beaumont, people are looking at Beaumont. It's got better prices in Houston, and we have hungry people that are willing to spend money on food.
Yeah.
Food trucks. Monica started with a food truck.
Yeah, Bon Mon. Used to get,
Scott Fisher had a food truck at one point. You got to start somewhere.
yeah, and then Aaron from A to Z had
Yes.
Dat Mac.
Oh, Dat Mac. Love Dat Mac.
Yeah, Dat Mac's a
Miss
good one.
it.
It's just the two owners, Aaron and Jordan Stringer. They just went on to different things,
Right.
different careers that aren't necessarily food related.
Right.
But you can catch Aaron from time to time at the Avenue in Port Neches,
Yes.
and he's done some really creative stuff with them as well.
I love to see what the Avenue is doing.
The sandwiches at the Avenue are so good.
Yeah, like
Monte
every day I'm
Cristo.
like, what are they gonna put up next?
Mhm.
Yeah,
super creative.
I like that.
All right. Well, we finished all these big meals. What you gonna do for dessert?
Oh.
I can already tell you my answer is gonna win. I bet you won't even think of this one.
Oh,
My close friends are gonna know.
okay.
I go crazy over this dessert.
Oh,
So I usually find this one in a catering
Okay.
arena,
okay.
and usually it's on a table. And I've been known to like wipe out like 6 plates of them all in one time. Usually I come across it
Oh
when
my
I'm.
gosh, 6 plates. Wow.
It's the Monkless bread pudding.
Oh, okay. I've had it. I'm really into Anna's Delights in PA.
Oh, I've never heard of that one. Tell us about it.
Mexican desserts. They're in the same thing as Tia Juanita's, Port Arthur.
Okay.
They're at the very end. So, after you finish that ginormous meal at Tia Juanita's, go get some dessert at Anna's. And they're related to Anna's Mexican Bakery here in Beaumont. So.
All right. Well, we're in Southeast Texas, so we can't leave out the seafood.
Mm.
And we'll just say it's
I don't-
seafood in general, because if we do crawfish, there's just too many to list.
Oh,
I've got like 10 favorites when it comes to that. Oh, that's one I didn't think of. I went generic. I'm basic. I went Floyd's on this one.
oh, I
When you-
love Floyd.
If you want to get a table the size of this one full of fried seafood, go to
Yeah.
Floyd's.
So I love Sweet Basil. They're one of my top favorite restaurants in town. I always get the salmon and noodles. His crawfish are also my favorite. Can't go wrong.
So how does Sweet Basil compare to Chaba? Are they
They're
different?
totally
sa-
different. Oh
Okay.
yeah, Sweet Basil is like Vietnamese fusion,
Okay.
and like hot mess fries.
I like
that's
Chaba.
fusion food.
And then-
Chaba is Thai food.
Okay.
So totally different.
And I'm really bad about like pho. I
Oh,
just
pho,
yeah. Do you like that stuff? Or-
Yeah, I like it in the winter months. You won't catch me eating it in the
Mm.
summer, unless I'm sick.
What about Mediterranean style food? Have you?
Greek Gyros in Mid County just opened. Greek
Mm-hmm.
Gyros 2 on Highway 365. It's really good.
Cause
And then there's Albasha.
yeah, so Al Basha just opened another location in Lumberton.
Yes, they did. I saw.
Yeah, pretty close to where I live. So
Awesome. I'm glad they did that.
they have some really cool meats. So I'm glad about that.
Yes, yes.
All right, well, we're wrapping up this game. It's 2 a.m. and you've been at the bar. You've been at Little Woodrow's, getting turned, getting lit.
Mhm.
Now it's 2 a.m. You're hungry. Where are you going? Right, you're right.
I'm either going to one or two places.
All right, I'm gonna write 2. I'll give you 2 on this one because it depends on the mood. Okay,
Okay.
and I think you're following me. I'm not even gonna write because you read my mind.
There's
Oh wait,
only-
wait, wait. No, I'm gonna call out.
There's one. Yeah.
We
you
we
can
have
get.
we have one in common because that's just a given. You have to go there.
There's one more you can say.
All right. So if I'm with the homies, with the bros, I'm going to Waffle House because
Right, of
me
course.
me and Justin get down on what's called cheese wrap bacon.
Oh Lord.
It's not a menu item,
Yeah.
but we basically invented it.
Of course.
When we were doing the keto thing,
Mhm.
we had bacon wrapped in sliced cheese and melted on the griddle, and it's cheese wrap bacon.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm with my girl, we're going to Taco Bell
Oh yeah.
because girls love Taco Bell at 2 a.m.
Yes, we do. For
They're
some reason.
loud at the drive-through. They're screaming, and then by the time they get their order, they fall asleep.
Oh, yep.
And then you got all these tacos and all these burritos in your car.
That's
And so,
funny.
but you got the burger joint on there. You got Whataburger.
Yeah,
which is
Whataburger.
24-hour
Sometimes
Whataburger.
I want the fries. They're
Yeah.
salty and good.
Very sad that they were bought out by Chicago.
Oh, yeah, that's lame.
But speaking of burgers, I was on the way home. It was Labor Day weekend, coming back from Galveston, and went to Freddy's Frozen Custard. Have you ever been to one of those?
I haven't been to one, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, the burgers are real similar to In-N-Out, you know, so which I think they're good. But the ice cream, there's something about custard that's different than ice cream. That's, you know, it's thicker and creamier,
Yeah.
and it's got all the stuff in it. You know, my son got the Oreos with the worms, gummy worms.
Yeah.
I get a lot of peanut butter stuff.
Oh, yeah. There was a custard place, Kimball's Creamery, used to be in Mid County. It was really good,
hmm
but they closed.
Yeah.
Sadly.
And then, you know, local coffee, we got Rayo's. Lumberton's got some good spots. They've got
Oh, yeah.
Eclectic Coffee and Hard Bean.
Yeah, Hard Bean, I
Hard
like
Bean
that.
does some creative dessert stuff. The Avenue has really good coffee.
Mhm.
But what I've been liking here recently is the cold brew on tap at Jay Wilson's.
Oh, yeah.
So they've got all the beer and craft beer on the wall
Right.
with all the taps.
Right.
On the far left,
Right.
it's cold brew coffee. It's not alcoholic. It's
Right.
just it's coffee
Right.
that's been, I guess, brewing in a refrigerator or refrigeration for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it's got a whole new flavor than just, you know, because I just get it black.
Yeah.
Way different than hot black coffee.
Yeah.
So I'm really into the cold brew right now. And they serve it up in like a beer glass.
Oh,
looks
that's
really
cute.
cool.
Yeah, no, not much of a coffee drinker too bad.
Really, I didn't drink coffee
Yeah.
until I was 35, and
Oh.
I'm only 37. I just didn't need it, you know. And I still don't drink coffee in the morning. I drink it in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Right.
So like when I got here, right before we started recording, then I had, you know, some coffee in the Yeti.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
switched to
You switched to
switched to the Bullet.
That's good.
So what's the next big thing for all your endeavors?
I mean, so the next big thing I'm working on would be Eat Beaumont Restaurant Week.
Okay.
Now, this is a food campaign started by the City of Beaumont Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is responsible for the city's tourism.
Mm-hmm.
And we want restaurants to get involved. It's a week-long event, November 10th through the 17th, where participating restaurants offer a special discounted menu during that 1 week only, just to entice new customers to come try it, that have never had it before. The statistics are if you try a new restaurant, you're 70% more likely to try it again, if you like it.
For sure.
So we want people to try as many as they can during this week, and I'm helping sign restaurants up for that. There's no cost. If they want to reach out to me on Southeast Texas Foodies or on Facebook, I would be more than willing to help them figure out their menu and tell them what's all involved. There's
Yeah, one thing I noticed, and I heard this from, Frankie was recently on a podcast with A to Z, and he was talking about how people always judge a local restaurant harder than they do a chain. And really, it should be the opposite because that chain has been around longer. They have standard operating procedures. They have manuals that say this is how it goes, this is how it should be. They're very uniform. Where a small business owner, they may have been in business for a couple years. They may be starting out, and sometimes they're winging it. They're doing the best that they can,
oh yeah.
and they get judged so much harder. So when someone has a bad experience at a chain, they're like, "Oh, well, that's a chain. What did you expect?" When they have a bad experience at a local restaurant, they crucify them sometimes on
Oh
social
yeah.
media. I mean, they should really be giving them a break the opposite way.
Exactly, because they're giving you another option that you
Yeah.
wouldn't have had. And if people only knew how hard these restaurant owners worked,
Oh yeah.
they would think twice about the things that they say online.
Hmm.
And I try to shed a little light on that. Like, I put a story, to a restaurant owner. I want people to know about them and their family and their struggles, and
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sure the margins on food are, fairly small.
Oh yes,
It's
very small,
sometimes they
maybe
have to.
30%.
Yeah,
Maybe.
sometimes they're making up some of their money at the bar,
Yeah.
or on specialty items.
Right, right, and they have rent and bills to pay, and those
Hmm.
posts actually affect all of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
Were you involved in the restaurant scene back in Crockett Street days?
I was
A
not.
little bit before your time, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember Rio Rita's. Went there.
Yeah.
I liked Rio Rita's a
Mhm.
lot.
A lot of good restaurants down there. I
Mhm.
think their rent was really high. I think it was Spindletop that was down on the left opposite
Right.
side of Rio
Right.
Rita's.
Yeah, I went to Spindletop
Yeah.
often too.
I think their rent was astronomical just for a restaurant, and there was multiple phases of Crockett Street that
Right.
didn't happen and things like that. And I think it just dominoed effect. But
Downtown is a sore subject around these
yeah,
parts.
yeah, yeah.
People want it to work. What does it take?
Yeah, they're trying. Unfortunately, we don't have the riverfront because of the railroads. There's some railroad tracks that are kind of in the way of doing something like the wheelhouse,
Mm-hmm.
which I totally probably could put the wheelhouse on several of those.
Oh yeah, the
those
Wheelhouse is
lists.
great.
So, I'm bad about forgetting about things
Me too.
because
Me too.
it's since I live in Lumberton, the wheelhouse is like a good
Oh wow.
40 minutes,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
and so I go there every once in a while, maybe
Mhm.
once a quarter,
Mhm.
but I forget about it like a regular place that's in
Yeah.
Beaumont Lumber, because I think everybody that lives in Lumberton works in Beaumont,
Right.
goes back and forth, and so that's kind of where my mind circulates.
Right. And I'm bad
Yeah.
about, getting out there too. I've tried to do it more,
Mhm.
let people know what's out there.
Yeah, I mean it's a short drive to Mid County, but you'll see it's real tight knit neighborhood. You see a lot of golf carts
Yep.
driving to the wheelhouse.
Oh yeah.
But back to downtown Beaumont, we don't have the riverfront because there's multiple railroad tracks
Right.
that aren't being used, but that something has to be done with.
Right.
And so we don't really have that same riverfront available.
Right. I'm excited for the brewery though
Mhm.
down there.
Yeah, there's a new one coming, right?
Yep.
You probably know more about it than me.
Well,
So.
I only know as much as they put out on Facebook. I
Mhm.
actually don't have any ties there. Poor Brothers Brewery. I know they worked a long time to get to where they are now. So
And it's like POUR, like
yeah,
poor.
yeah, Poor Brothers.
Uh-huh.
And I think they're gonna have food trucks come out there. It's gonna be good. More options.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all about.
So are you much of a cook yourself? Do you ever dabble in that?
I would cook, but it's I like go out to eat, and
Mhm.
these owners spoil me sometimes.
Yeah.
So my fridge is full of takeout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I order out a lot, way more than any person should. With Favor, I get free delivery credits. So
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
But I love HEB. I love shopping at HEB.
Mhm.
The guacamole is my favorite.
I've always been curious with if I do the grocery delivery or the curbside, I haven't let them pick my avocados yet. I feel like I'm pretty talented at picking avocados.
Right. Some things you just need to say for yourself.
I think that they let the produce manager do it, and he knows what he's doing. They could probably pick some pretty good ones. And HEB has significantly better produce than some of the other
Yeah.
grocery stores.
I went to a Central Market for the first time recently, and it was such an experience.
Mhm.
I appreciate things like that.
Yeah, there's HEB would probably be the closest thing we have to that. You know,
Mhm.
with, as far as like organic options,
Right.
grass-fed beef. They've got buffalo meat. Um,
Bison.
yeah, yeah, it's a little more expensive, just because cows are more common, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that you know a buffalo looks bigger than a cow, but a cow actually produces more because there's so many things they use on the cow, whereas like a buffalo is kind of like just the just the ground beef and just the steaks and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas a cow, I mean, they're using everything. They're using the tail,
Yeah.
they're using the tongue. They're basically melting the head and turning it into barbacoa, which is
Yeah.
amazing for
Yep.
tacos. You know,
Yep.
there's so many things that we've learned how to use every part of the cow.
Right.
Um, I think they even sell the ears for dog treats, probably,
Oh yeah.
or pig ears. But and on a buffalo, even though the buffalo looks bigger, it just doesn't produce as much. You know, and they're not as common, I guess. So buffalo meat's a little more expensive, but it's leaner, and then sometimes that grass-fed beef is less popular because it's leaner,
Right.
less fat, less flavorful.
Yeah.
So on that $1 billion buyer with Tillman Fertitta, they did some taste tests where they served the steaks that they currently have and then some grass-fed steaks, and people weren't rating the grass-fed steaks very high because they didn't have the marbling, and so it kind of gets hard to market the health benefits versus the flavor.
It's,
You know,
I love that show. $1 Billion Buyer.
yeah.
The Profit. I
Hmm.
love all those shows. Entrepreneurship. That.
Are there any of the cooking shows? Are you a big Gordon Ramsay fan? Or-
I am a reality TV buff. I like to numb my mind sometimes with that. I'll watch Gordon Ramsay, but I'm not. I wouldn't go eat at one of his restaurants. I don't think it would be that great. I'd rather find something else. Like
Yeah. What
local,
about
less commercialized.
have you heard the background of Salt Bay, which is like a real
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And he's only in like huge cities. You know, he's in like
Yeah.
New York,
Mm-hmm.
you know, over in Europe and Dubai. He's got like a restaurant in Dubai, but he started out as a butcher that hardly spoke any English.
Oh wow.
And he's, as you can see from his videos, he's a super talented butcher. Yeah, because I mean, if you look at not just the one that went viral with the salt, but on his Instagram, he posts a lot of pictures or a lot of videos of him chopping up all kinds, the tomahawk steaks,
Oh yeah.
loins, and everything. He's a super talented butcher, and that's how he got his start. And then he developed into owning a restaurant, and he's a super interesting guy. He uses a lot of butter. I mean, I've seen like
Oh my gosh.
giant slabs of butter that he'll shave off and put it into the pan with lamb chops and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but that's I went to one of his restaurants in New York
Oh yeah.
just to visit and take a picture with the sign and everything. I didn't eat there, but he's got some interesting dishes and an interesting story too.
Oh yeah. I went to Giada's restaurant in Vegas. Oh my god, it's amazing. Go
What do you
there.
think? What do you think is the most expensive place you've ever been?
I've eaten at some very bougie places.
Yeah.
The most expensive place I've ever been. I mean, I went to Mastro's in Houston, and it was really
Okay.
expensive. But I've eaten in Vegas, and it was about the same. So,
Yeah.
I've been known to spend a pretty penny on food.
Yeah, there's some pretty expensive places in Vegas.
But they just the markup. It's just
I went to the Bellagio buffet,
Oh wow.
which is like it's
Bacchanal. Is that
well,
what-
it's bougie because it's buffet, but it's like the most classiest
Yes.
high-end buffet you'll probably ever go to.
Right. Right.
And I mean, they had everything that you could think of.
I've seen the travel shows like go there.
Yeah. Were you a big fan of Anthony Bourdain's?
Oh, I loved Anthony Bourdain. Yes. That was a sad day.
It was.
Yeah.
I just watched that new Dave Chappelle show where he said it was actually his opening bit,
Oh my
where
gosh.
he says Anthony Bourdain had the coolest job on the planet.
Yeah.
Travel around and eat delicious food with interesting people. And he killed himself. And he compared it to this guy that had like the crappiest life. And it said it never occurred to this guy to kill himself.
Oh no.
And it's just, but it makes you
Yeah.
think, you never know what someone's going through on the inside because
for real.
he's got everything going for him.
Yeah.
And has one of the funnest, cool job that you can think of.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, there's definitely a dark side to everything.
Yeah.
There's things that you don't see that goes on.
Hmm.
Things aren't always happy, and not every conversation goes well. And some people they like to put expectations on me, and I don't follow expectations very
Yeah.
well. So, you know.
So what are some things that if a restaurant's interested in contacting you and using your services, what's a good way to approach that?
So they can find me on Facebook, Lauren Bebeau,
Hmm.
or Southeast Texas Foodies,
Yeah.
and that's all one word, SETX Foodies. And the name of my PR company is Passion PR, and they can find that on Facebook as well.
Yeah, and you got quite a few pages under you that you're
Yes, I
managing.
do. I do a lot. I do a little bit less now with the favor job, but
Hmm.
with everything, there's a balance.
Hmm.
Um, the Grill, Tacos La Bamba, they're two of my clients. 5 Under Golf Center, which is going under major renovation.
Yeah, what are they going to be looking like whenever they finish?
Oh my gosh, you guys, it's gonna be insane.
Similar to a Top
Next
Golf, I guess?
level, similar to Top Golf. We don't like to say that because we're gonna be our own thing.
Right. So people kind of get misconstrued. It's not actually Top Golf.
No.
It's its own brand of
Right.
things.
So, Top Golf, actually, I've been working with them for over a year.
Okay.
So Top Golf reached out to 5 Under Golf Center. Austin Williams is the owner.
Right.
And they actually have invested in small golf centers around the country. And basically, we're going to have the technology that you would find at Top Golf,
Okay.
which is the Top Tracer range, which tracks the balls.
Hmm.
And then we're going to have an indoor swing suite, which is like virtual reality. There's going to be a restaurant. There's going to be a bar. It's going to be very nice. They're going to
Yeah.
have meeting rooms. I think they're building a stage now. It's just going to be great.
Yeah, great for corporate events and entertaining
yes.
guests.
Yes.
Is it still open right now during renovations or
No.
okay?
So we have a trailer open where we're selling apparel,
Yeah.
discounted athletic wear if you want to come check it out during
Okay.
the week. But no, the facilities, they probably won't be open until January.
Okay.
At least.
All right, nice.
Yeah, at the earliest.
And then any of your other clients that have some things going on that you want to talk about?
I mean, I really want y'all to check out the Grill and see the new
Mhm.
items that are going on there. Cotton Creek Winery is about to open a second location, and I might be working with them soon.
Oh, wow.
So I'm privy to a lot of information like
Yeah.
that.
Are they able to say where the second one is yet?
No,
Okay.
can't say that yet,
Yeah.
but stay tuned.
Yeah.
I get really excited about things like that, and seeing people succeed. Like Aldrich Henry, he was a food truck owner out of Silsbee, just coming to Beaumont every, once a month, and now he's got a full sit-down restaurant, and that'll happen in like 2 years, and I just love seeing people do well, and I just want to help them spread the word, and that's what I'm all about.
Yeah, I think Jay Wilson's is working on a second location
Yes, him too.
too. And he's really put a lot of thought into it, because he has like focus groups and consulting agencies to
Oh,
like
wow.
really dial it in to what, he's leaning towards
Oh, wow.
a Mediterranean style. Last time I talked to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're still really trying to, even with their current location, they did the same thing. They hired some consultants, and if you look in there, they've got like acoustical panels, on the ceiling and around, just stuff you wouldn't think of that.
Data doesn't lie. If I've learned anything working for Favor is data does not lie. So I don't blame him for getting those focus groups.
Yeah, the big data is where it's at. What do people want? And the way people are around here, that's hard to tell sometimes. You see what Steak and Shake, everybody wanted Steak and Shake.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Everybody wanted to complain about Steak and Shake.
Yep.
And what I try to tell people, in Lumberton is they beg for variety. They're always talking about we have a lot of donut shops and Mexican food. And I said, well, when something comes that's different, y'all make fun of it and you don't support it. And you got to imagine all these other business owners that are taking a risk looking at this transpiring and say, well, I don't want to go to that town.
Right.
Because they're going to, make fun of my business and they're not going to support it. So you really
Right.
have to get behind those businesses and support them, with your support them with your date nights and support them with your business lunches and with your
Yes.
wallet.
Yes. These are your neighbors, You want to help your neighbors.
Even some of the franchises,
Yeah.
people forget that franchises are a legitimate small business.
Exactly.
This Chick-fil-A is owned by a family.
Yes, sir.
And the one in the mall is owned by a different family. And you're supporting that family that owns, 1 or 2 locations, and then, put a little trailer in Lumberton to help with that.
Yep.
I mean, geez, even the McDonald's and the Burger Kings, they're all
Oh yeah,
owned by
I
a
grew up
family.
with them, so
Yeah,
I know who they are. They're people too, and I
yeah.
try not to talk
They're
bad about that
they're just
either.
they're leveraging a national or a global
Right,
brand,
and I don't blame them for that at all.
yeah, but
You
they
know.
they still had a significant amount of capital that they had to put forth and show that they could attain,
Yes.
and in order to have, they're not just giving away these franchises to
Right.
anybody that wants them.
Oh no.
Some of them are very selective, and
Yeah.
that's why somewhere like Lumberton doesn't have a standalone Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A doesn't approve it yet with the traffic counts and
Right.
that's why you see a lot of Chick-fil-A's like on Dallin Road or the interstate.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like. So did you try the new Popeyes chicken sandwich?
I did not.
And
I'm
it's too late
sorry.
now.
Too
Maybe they'll
late.
make some more.
I missed it. Oh no.
Yes.
No, I'm not about that.
Yeah, I didn't put that on the list because I hadn't tried one either. But,
That's crazy though. Viral marketing at its best.
oh yeah, it is. It's crazy to see what types of trends make it on viral marketing and versus traditional marketing and things like that.
Oh yeah,
Like you got Wendy's with their sarcastic social media.
that's funny.
You
I
got
look forward to that.
IHOP that did the burgers for a while.
Mm-hmm. All of it. I'm watching all of it.
Hmm.
I love to see, what they're all saying.
What's your take on Chicken Express versus Cane's?
I mean, I don't have a take. I don't have a take. Yeah, I never go to either of those places, honestly.
I would say Cane's for the sauce. Mall food court. Where are you going in the mall food court?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A in the mall food court?
Chick-fil-A, although the Nacho Queen, I'm very curious about.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I heard that we're getting an Arby's again. And do you think there's kind of what do you want an entourage of restaurant owners, and it's some of my friends. So it's Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mellow Mushroom,
Yeah.
Our Taco, and what they probably own something else too that I'm leaving out. Is it them that's bringing back Arby's? Or...
I know Arby's is in their group,
Yeah,
but I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not sure anything about that.
Yeah. We left off pizza. I would probably say,
I do.
Crown Pizza for sure. Mellow Mushroom.
Mellow Mushroom's good.
Poor. What was that one that was open for a minute?
Oh,
Urban Bricks.
They didn't even last. Poor
Well,
things.
they were right across the street from one of the coolest pizza
Mhm.
franchises ever,
Mhm.
Mellow Mushroom. I went to Urban Bricks when they first opened, and
I did too.
and they had a cool concept. They had the beer that filled from the bottom, so it
Oh,
was like
yeah.
it was a magnetic glass, and the reason was so it doesn't create any foam. It goes all the way to the top, and there's no foam. And then the pizza kind of it was fast casual. You go through a line, and it was had some healthy options and some salads. And I was so hyped when Salada came here, and then I went there once. I don't know why. I went to a Salada before they were here in Houston. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then I just don't go enough, I guess.
That happens a lot. You'll get really excited about a new place, and then you've
Yeah.
only been there once.
Do you think that Beaumont can handle a Cheesecake Factory? Because here's the thing about
I do not.
So Cheesecake Factory is one of those date nights that we were talking about. That's $100. Maybe even more.
Yeah.
Maybe more than 100 if you get dessert plus drinks. So I don't know. You've got to have a steady flow of people going there that are spending
Right.
$100 for dinner
Right.
for two people. And
I just don't. I don't think so.
we may not be about that life.
No.
We're
not
about
yet.
We're about the $5 a pound crawfish specials and the happy hour and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a chicken fried steak town, but I try to bring out the other parts of that.
Have you ever seen the newspaper that comes with like the 11 by 17 page of Burger King coupons?
Yes.
Like, I'm amazed at how much food you can get from Burger King for a
Wow.
couple dollars. But I can't do that every day. I would.
Imagine they're giving so much away. But
Yeah.
they're making so much, so.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
I guess
their
it's
game.
quantity over quality at that point.
Right.
When you're-
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Yes, people, they want the cheap fast food.
Mhm.
The data doesn't lie. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
Chipotle is another one I was super excited. We were just overdue. If Chipotle would have come here about 10 years ago, I would have gone there every day. And then I just
I agree.
kind of got burned out on it.
We're getting a new breakfast place that might be open by the time this airs. The Toasted Yolk.
Oh, that
Or
sounds interesting.
something like that. Is
Hmm.
that right? Something like
Yeah.
that. I know it's a new brunch place opening,
Yeah.
so be looking out for that.
Yeah. I saw one in Houston called the Egg and I. That's a good one.
Oh yeah,
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 really
yeah.
popular. Well, that was probably the shout out to Kara Shaver's uh, salon that's going in next door. Construction. They've been working on that thing for months. You can see if you follow her on social media. Do you know Kara Shaver?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's so mad because they're always like running behind,
Oh
stuff like that.
no.
Um, and then this is her first kind of big venture as a small business owner, and I see her talking about permits, the
Oh
city
yeah.
dealing with the city of Beaumont and all
Mhm.
that takes. But there's a window in this hallway because we're in a shared building, and you can see it looks really nice. So if you're in the need of a haircut for the
Oh
ladies,
yeah.
get some
She does
color.
extensions.
Yeah,
I
check
might
out
need
Kara
that.
Shaver. For the fellas, I got to shout out to Spruce Barbershop. It's
Nice.
also female owned as well.
Awesome.
Brooke Bellinger, she'll be on the podcast soon.
Cool.
We'll have to get Kara in here. But well, let's wrap this up. Is there anything you want to
Okay.
tell the folks of Beaumont before we
Um.
take this last sip of Bullet Bourbon?
Just to the people of Beaumont, just remember restaurant owners are people too. Maybe think twice about giving a negative review and instead give a positive one. It's not hard to be, positive and support your community. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And follow me if you
Mhm.
want to.
Yeah, most people are more apt to give a review when they're mad versus
Oh, yeah.
when you're happy, you just leave.
Yep.
And you're like, well, that was cool.
Mhm.
When you're mad, it's like you whip that phone out and get on Yelp and get on social media.
Right.
So, uh, I did that with. You ever been driving behind the people that says, "How's my driving?"
Oh, yes.
So that's another one where people only call to complain. So I make it a point every time I get behind somebody that has one of those, I say, "Hey, they're driving pretty good," and the person on the other line is always like, okay,"
Wow.
and
I
because they're
love
expecting a
that.
complaint,
Yeah.
and
I
I'm
love
like, no,
that.
they probably never get someone compliment on their driving, never.
Never.
So I always try to do that when I can.
That's
I do it
awesome.
hands free, 'cause,
Oh, of course. Of
got
course.
got the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us one more time
Okay.
where we can find you, and
Yes.
sign off.
Okay, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Southeast Texas Foodies. That's SETX Foodies. And if you want to sign up for Restaurant Week in your restaurant, you can contact me about that as well.
Yeah, and you can find me lunchtime at Jay Wilson's or at Madison's.
Good choice.
All right, have a good week, everybody. Check out Southeast Texas Foodies.